All right, this is a pre-trip inspection for, this is a Sear England truck, but it's a Freightliner, so most trucks are the same. I'm going to go ahead and start on with it. This is the front of my vehicle for the pre-inspection. First, you got to make sure there's no puddles or no leaks underneath the truck. And then you'll check the headlights. You got your low beams and your high beams. They're not cracked, bent, or broken. They're clean, operational. They're white in color. And they're properly mounted and secured. Then you have your left and right turn signals, your four-way flashers, your reflectors, and then you have your clearance lights at the top. They're clean, operational, amber in color, not cracked, bent, or broken, and they're properly mounted and secured. Next, I have my engine compartment. First, I have my alternator. My alternator is not cracked, bent, or broken. It's properly mounted and secured. It is belt driven. My belt has no more than 3/4 inch play. It's not ripped, torn, or frayed, and it's properly mounted and secured. Next, I have my coolant. My coolant is filled to the proper level, has no leaks, not cracked, bent, or broken, and it's properly mounted and secured. Next, I have my water pump. My water pump is not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not leaking. It's properly mounted and secured. My water pump is belt driven, and the belt has no more than 3/4 inch play. It's not ripped, torn, or frayed, and it's properly mounted and secured. All right, next I have my power steering. My power steering is not cracked, bent, or broken. It has no leaks, and it's properly mounted and secured. It is gear driven. All right, then I have my power steering hoses. My power steering hoses has no abrasions, bulges, or cuts. They're not leaking, and they're properly mounted and secured. Next, I check my oil level. My oil is filled to the proper level, it's not leaking, and it's properly mounted and secured. Then I check my air compressor and my air compressor hoses. My air compressor is gear driven. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not leaking, and it's properly mounted and secured. My air compressor hoses has no abrasions, bulges, or cuts, no leaks, and they're properly mounted and secured. Next, I'm gonna check my steering. All right, this is my steering linkage. For my steering, I check my pitman arm, my drag link, my knuckle, and my tie rod. They're not cracked, bent, or broken. They're not missing, not worn, and they're properly mounted and secured. Then I'll check my steering box. My steering box is not cracked, bent, or broken, has no leaks, and it's properly mounted and secured. Next, I'm going to check my leaf springs. My leaf springs are not missing, they're not shifted, they're not cracked, bent, or broken, and they're properly mounted and secured. That's part of the front suspension system. My leaf springs, they're not missing, not shifted, no loose and missing hardware, and they're not cracked, bent, or broken, and they're properly mounted and secured. My spring mounts, they're not cracked, bent, or broken, and they're properly mounted and secured. My U-bolts, they're not cracked, bent, or broken, they're properly mounted and secured. Then I have my shocks. My shocks, they're not cracked, bent, or broken, they has no leaks, and they're properly mounted and secured. Here's my brake system. My brakes, my brake lines, my brake hoses and my brake lines. They have no abrasions, bulges, or cuts, no leaks, properly mounted and secured. Then I have my brake chamber. My brake chambers aren't cracked, bent, or broken. They're not dented. They have no leaks, and they're properly mounted and secured. Then I have my slack adjuster and my push rod. They're not cracked, bent, or broken. No loose or missing hardware. No more than 1 inch play with brakes released, and they're properly mounted and secured. Then I have my brake drum. My brake drum is not cracked, bent, or broken. They're not dented. No debris, free of grease, and they're properly mounted and secured. Then I have my brake linings. My brake linings aren't cracked, bent, or broken. No less than 1/4 inch at its thinnest point, and they're properly mounted and secured. Next, I have my wheels and my tires. My tires have no abrasions, bulges, or cuts, no leaks, no less than 4/32 tread depth. It's a 100 psi check with an air gauge, and they're properly mounted and secured. My rims have no abrasions, bulges. Sorry about that. My rims aren't cracked, bent, or broken, and they're properly mounted and secured. My lug nuts. My lug nuts has no rust trails, no shiny threads, no loose and missing hardware, and they're properly mounted and secured. My hub seal. My hub seal is not cracked, bent, or broken. It's filled to the proper level. Has no leaks, and they're properly mounted and secured. Next is the side of my truck and the door. I have a side marker light already there. It's a left or right turn signal. It's also my four-way flasher. It's clean operational, amber in color, not cracked, bent, or broken, properly mounted and secured. Next, I have my mirror. My mirror is not cracked, bent, or broken, has no loose or missing hardware, and is properly mounted and secured. Then I have my door hinges, my door handle, and my door seals. My door hinges, my door handle, they're not cracked, bent, or broken, and they're properly mounted and secured. My door seal has no abrasions, borders, or cuts, and is properly mounted and secured. Then I have my fuel tank. My fuel tank, I have my fuel cap, my chain and T-bar, and my two straps. My fuel tank is not cracked, bent, or broken, has no leaks, and is properly mounted and secured. My chain and T-bar, they're not cracked, bent, or broken, they're not loose or missing, and they're properly mounted and secured. Then my two straps. My two straps has no ripped, they're not ripped, torn, or frayed, and they're properly mounted and secured. Next I have my catwalk and my steps. They're solid, free of debris, not cracked, bent, or broken, properly mounted and secured. Next I have my frame and crossmember. My frame and crossmembers, they're not cracked, bent, or broken, and have no illegal welds, no holes, and they're properly mounted and secured. My torque arm is not cracked, bent, or broken, and is properly mounted and secured. My splash guard is not cracked, bent, or broken, properly mounted and secured. Alright, next I have my leaf springs. My leaf springs are not missing, they're not shifted, they're not cracked, bent, or broken, and they're properly mounted and secured. Then I have my spring mounts. My spring mounts are not cracked, bent, or broken, and they're properly mounted and secured. My U-bolts aren't cracked, bent, or broken. They're properly mounted and secured. Next I have my shocks. My shocks are not cracked, bent, or broken, has no leaks, and they're properly mounted and secured. Then I have my airbags. My airbags have no leaks, no abrasions, borders, or cuts, properly mounted and secured. I also have my upper and lower airbag mounts. They're on the top and the bottom of my airbags. My upper and lower airbag mounts aren't cracked, bent, or broken, and they're properly mounted and secured. Then I have my brake hoses and my brake lines. My brake hoses, my brake lines has no abrasions, borders, or cuts, no leaks, and they're properly mounted and secured. Then I have my brake chambers. My brake chambers aren't cracked, bent, or broken. They're not dented, no leaks, properly mounted and secured. Then I have my slack adjuster and my push rod. They're not cracked, bent, or broken, no loose or missing hardware, no more than 1 inch play with brakes released, and they're properly mounted and secured. My brake drum is not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not dented, free of debris, free of grease, properly mounted and secured. My brake lining has no abrasions, borders, or cuts. They're not cracked, bent, or broken, no less than a 1/4 inch at its thinnest point, and it's properly mounted and secured. Then I have my tire spacers. My spacers are not cracked, bent, or broken, free of debris. They're not rusted. My tires aren't touching, and it's properly mounted and secured. Then I have my tires. These are my drive tires. My drive tires has no abrasions, borders, or cuts, no less than 2/32 tread depth, 100 psi check with an air gauge, has no leaks, and it's properly mounted and secured. My rims are not cracked, bent, or broken, and they're properly mounted and secured. My lug nuts has no rust trails, no shiny threads, no loose and missing hardware, and they're properly mounted and secured. My hub seals aren't cracked, bent, or broken, no leaks, properly mounted and secured. On the rear of my tractor, I have my mud flaps. My mud flaps aren't ripped, torn, or frayed, not cracked, bent, or broken, and they're properly mounted and secured. Also, my mud flaps has my DOT tape. My DOT tape is not ripped, torn, or frayed, and it's properly mounted and secured. Then I have my tail lights. My tail lights, I have my left and right turn signals, my four-way flashers, my brake lights, and my reflector lights. They're clean operational, red in color, not cracked, bent, or broken, and they're properly mounted and secured. Also, I have my backup light or my reverse light. It's clean operational, white in color, not cracked, bent, or broken, and it's properly mounted and secured. Next, I have my coupling system. For the coupling system, I have my kingpin. My kingpin, it's not cracked, bent, or broken. It has no illegal welds, and it's properly mounted and secured. Then I have my apron. My apron is not cracked, bent, or broken. And there's no gap between my apron and my fifth wheel skid plate, and it's properly mounted and secured. Then I have my locking jaws. My locking jaws aren't cracked, bent, or broken, and it's closed around my kingpin, and it's properly mounted and secured. Then I have my fifth wheel skid plate. It's lubricated or greased. There's no gap between my fifth wheel skid plate and my apron. It is properly mounted and secured, and it's not cracked, bent, or broken. Also, I have my apron. My apron is not cracked, bent, or broken, and it has no illegal welds. Then I have my platform. My platform is not cracked, bent, or broken. It's free of illegal welds, and it's properly mounted and secured. My mounting bolts, they're not cracked, bent, or broken, and they're properly mounted and secured. Then I have my release arm. My release arm is in the engaged position. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. There's no loose and missing hardware, and it's properly mounted and secured. Then I have my locking pins. My locking pins aren't cracked, bent, or broken. They're in the locked position, and they're properly mounted and secured. This is also part of the coupling system. First, I have the air and the electrical lines. The air lines are blue and red, and the electrical lines is green. Okay, for my air lines has no abrasions, borders, or cuts. They're not leaking. They're not dragging. They're not pinched, and they're properly mounted and secured to my tractor and my trailer with my glad hands. My glad hands aren't cracked, bent, or broken. Have no loose and missing hardware, and then my glad hands are in the locked position. Then I have my electrical lines. My electrical lines has no abrasions, borders, or cuts. Has no exposed wires. It's not worn, not dragging, or not pinched, and it's properly mounted and secured to my tractor and my trailer with my safety catches or my safety latches. Either way, they're not cracked. My safety latches aren't cracked, bent, or broken, and they're properly mounted and secured. And no lines are dragging on the catwalk. Alright, this is the pre-inspection for my trailer. First, we start with the front of the trailer. Check my header board or the bulkhead. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. Has no bulges. It's solid. It's not cracked, bent, or broken, and it's properly mounted and secured. Then you have your clearance lights at the top corner. You have your clearance lights. My clearance lights are clean operational, amber in color, not cracked, bent, or broken, and they're properly mounted and secured. Alright, on the side of your trailer and at the bottom you have your frame and your cross members. Your frame and cross members aren't cracked, bent, or broken, has no illegal welds, no holes, and they're properly mounted and secured. Also, you have your DOT tape. You always want to check that. Your DOT tape is not ripped, torn, or frayed, and it's properly mounted and secured. At the bottom of your trailer, you have your landing gear and you have your crank handle. Make sure your landing gear is raised, not cracked, bent, or broken, no loose or missing hardware, and it's properly mounted and secured. Also, make sure your crank handle is properly mounted and secured. Then also on the side of your trailer, more towards the middle of the trailer, you have your side marker. It's your left and right turn. It's also your left and right turn signal, and it's your four-way flasher. Your side marker is not cracked, bent, or broken. It's clean operational, amber in color, and it's properly mounted and secured. Also, you have your ABS light and your marker light towards the back of the trailer on the side. Your ABS light is clean operational, amber in color, clean, not cracked, bent, or broken, properly mounted and secured. Your marker lights, clean operational, red in color, not cracked, bent, or broken, properly mounted and secured. Also have your door hanger. Your door hanger is not cracked, bent, or broken, it's not missing, and it's properly mounted and secured. Alright, at the bottom of your trailer you have your air lines and your hoses. Make sure they have no abrasions, borders, or cuts. They're not leaking. They're not hanging on the ground, and they're properly mounted and secured. Then you have your tandem release arm and your locking pins. Make sure they're in a locked position. they're not crap bent or broken, and they're properly mounted and secured. Then on the rear of your trailer, you have at the top you have your identification lights or your clearance lights. The clean operational, amber in color, not crap bent or broken, properly mounted and secured. All right. Then you have your door hinges, your door latch, and your door safety catch. They're not crap bent or broken, no loose and missing hardware, and they're properly mounted and secured. Then you have your tail lights. You got your left and right turn signals there, your four-way flashers, and your brake lights. They're clean operational, red in color, not crap bent or broken, properly mounted and secured. Also, you have your DOT tape on your bumper in the back. It's not ripped, torn, or frayed, and it's properly mounted and secured. This is your in-cab inspection. First thing you check is your safety equipment. Make sure you have your fire extinguisher, your 3 reflective triangles, and you have extra fuses and breakers. Your fire extinguisher is fully charged. It's 10 BC. The pin is intact. And make sure the tag is up to date. It's been inspected and it's properly mounted and secured. You have your 3 reflective triangles. Make sure they're not broken or not missing. Make sure your extra fuses and your breakers aren't missing as well. And then once in-cab inspection, make sure your safety belt latches properly. It's not ripped, torn, or frayed, and it's properly adjusted to you. Then you do your safe start. For your safe start, you make sure your brakes are set. You place your tractor into neutral. You turn the key to auxiliary position, but you do not start the engine. Allow the truck to do a self-check, and then verify that the dash indicator for ABS goes on and off. That means it's working properly. And then you apply the service brake and start the engine for your safe start. Alright, for in-cab inspection, we're going to check our windshield. Our windshield is not crap bent or broken. It's clean, it's free of illegal stickers, has no obstructions, and it's properly mounted and secured. Also, I'm going to check my mirrors. My mirrors has to be clean, properly adjusted to me, not crap bent or broken, and are properly mounted and secured. And then I got to make sure my heater and my defroster are both working. So you demonstrate that. You turn the knob all the way to the heat position, put it on the heater and defroster position, and then you check and make sure it's working properly. Then I'm going to check my gauges. I got my voltmeter. Make sure my voltmeter is between 12 to 14.5 volts. Check my temperature gauge. The normal temperature reading should be 170 degrees to 210 degrees. Then I check my oil pressure gauge. It should be between 40 to 60 psi. And then my primary and secondary air gauges should be between 120 and 140 psi. And all are working properly and not crap bent or broken, and they're properly mounted and secured. Here I'm gonna check my my lights, my headlights, my low beam, my high beams, my left and right turn signals, and my four-way flashers. Make sure they're all working properly. Also, I'm gonna check my windshield washer, my wipers. Demonstrate that. And make sure everything's working properly, not crap bent or broken, not loose or missing, and they're properly mounted and secured. Also check your four-way flashers.